In our politics lead, we're now less than 1 month out from that very special election to replace Georgia's Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. The staunch Trump supporter turned Trump critic turned whatever she is right now stunned Washington last year when she announced she was leaving Congress in the middle of her term, just 3 days after she met the 5-year threshold required for congressional pension eligibility. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. CNN's Jeff Zeleny traveled to the Peach State to take stock of the candidates vying for her seat.
It's hard to find a stage big enough for this Georgia blockbuster. The men and women sitting here, shoulder to shoulder, are only half of the 20 candidates fighting to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose resignation has sparked a free-for-all special election.
We cannot let Georgia 14 turn blue. We have to keep it red. Now is the time to unite behind the candidate that President Trump has chosen.
Clay Fuller, a former prosecutor and Air Force veteran, candidly admits being surprised when Trump called with his endorsement last week.
On the phone call, at one point he just said, "Clay, okay, I'm going to do it. Clay, I want you to talk to your next boss." And it was Speaker Johnson.
It's an open question whether Trump's blessing paves the way for Fuller. His Republican rivals aren't standing down.
I love President Trump, but we've never talked about this being President Trump's district.
We, love and support him and his agenda, strongly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't want to choose our own representative.
Star Black, a Republican who planned to challenge Greene anyway, assumed Trump would stay out of the race. Still, she isn't sure it changes much.
You need Trump voters to win.
Absolutely. The Republican voters, they're smart voters. They know if someone is going to represent them or are they going to rubber stamp someone.
Campaign signs are popping up everywhere for a slate of candidates that includes a pastor, former state senator, retired FEMA worker, trash company owner, horse trainer, risk engineer, small businessman, former congressional staffer, retired brigadier general, and prosecutor. Among the Republicans we met, there's hardly a mention of Greene's fallout with Trump.
When Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned, what did you all think about that at the time?
Oh, it was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, we did not like her. We thought she was a disruptor.
The sprawling 14th congressional district covers 10 counties across Georgia's northwest corner, stretching from the Atlanta suburbs over to Alabama and up to the Tennessee state line. It's deep red Trump country, but with enough Democrats and independents to cause heartburn for Republicans in a primary that sends the top 2 vote-getters, regardless of party, into a runoff if no one wins over 50%.
Is there a true risk, do you think, for a district this red to be won by a Democrat?
Absolutely, and we've got to operate that way. If Georgia 14 turns blue, it would be a tragedy for the president's agenda, and we as a party need to start having an honest conversation about that.
Fuller is talking about Shawn Harris.
Courage is contagious.
Harris is a Democrat who lost to Greene in 2024, but received nearly 135,000 votes, a fraction of which would likely vault him into a runoff now. After 40 years in the Marines, Harris returned home to a Georgia cattle farm. He's trying to tap into a Trump exhaustion that he believes gives him an edge to voters searching for a change.
The 17, 18 of the Republicans that I'm currently running against right now, every last one of those guys are trying to do their best to get Donald Trump, even though he's actually endorsed somebody, they still fighting, trying to get his attention.
So even though Marjorie Taylor Greene has been out of Congress for more than a month now, Jake, she still is a thorn in the side to Republican leaders because her seat is empty and they need every single vote that they can get. We've seen that play out this week. That is why President Trump is putting his hand on the scales. He wants this to end on March 10th. That's the special election, but it's called a jungle primary. So the top 2 winners are likely to advance to an April runoff unless one person happens to get 50%. That's very unlikely in such a wide field. But everyone is trying to out-Trump themselves, if you will. The ads say I'm the Trump-favored candidate. There's one Trump-endorsed candidate, but again, there's some voter confusion. And in a small special election, who knows what could happen. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's not endorsing. She's staying silent, at least in this matter.
Well, on this issue.
On this issue.
Not on anything else. All right, Jeff Zeleny, thanks so much.